Some bad news, we had a flood. You know the floor that I'd been working so hard to re-sand and refill and make pretty ready for varnishing? It flooded. This was partly my fault and partly Shetland's fault. Of course, when you live in Shetland, we deal with some pretty extreme weather. Here's the weather forecast for when I was away over the last 2 weeks. Tell me why I decided to leave my Velux just a little bit open like this on the kind of vent catch, but the Shetland wind was strong enough to pull it all the way open. We still have really strong winds to date. But what happened when we were away was it opened completely, and not only did we have strong driving wind, but we had about 5-6 days of straight driving rain. So I got a text from my neighbour who said, we've been outside and noticed your window's wide open and there's water just pishing into the house. So she came round and this entire floor was like a swimming pool. I'll put pictures here. These pictures are after she had mopped it up with towels, so I can only imagine what it was like when she first found it, but there were pools all over the floor. So over the last week and a half, we've been drying it out. We've had a dehumidifier in this room and we've been trying our best to get it back to what it was like. But unfortunately, it was never going to be the case. So we have to do it again. We don't have to start from stage one. Of course, last time there was loads of old shite all over this floor to get rid of, including all the tape that was around the edges. This time, the only thing that's really messed up by the water is the lovely filler that I put in between the floorboards at great painstaking cost. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So as you can see, the filler has cracked and no longer is it actually filling up the entire gap between each of the floorboards. It's all cracked, it's all messy, it's no longer doing its job, and it just looks bad. So although we need to rip up all the filler that is in between these boards, we don't have to redo the entire floor. We just need to refill and sand over the top, and hopefully that should come good. The floor is also slightly discoloured from the flood, so if we do the filler and then a sand, it should bring it back up to that nice white. I never had time to varnish this floor before I went away for work for 2 weeks, and I really wish I had, because I think it might have provided a little bit more protection, but there was a lot of water here, so that's up for debate. We're going to absolutely varnish it as soon as it's ready and see if we can make this floor look like it did about a month ago. Ah! Stupid! I will never leave my windows open ever again. Pain in the arse, pain in the tits. So like last time when I did the gaps, I got all the dirt out from between the floorboards with a saw. I'm going to do the same thing, and if it's hard, I'm going to use my multi-tool. This is going to take a lot longer because obviously there's a lot more filler in the floor now, but we're just going to have a go. Shit. I know that this looks like a really slow way to do things, and in many ways it is, but it is the fastest I found. Even using the multi-tool, which was slightly better for some of the more stubborn parts of this filler, was still very slow. Just be careful if you're using the multi-tool to watch for cables underneath your floor so that you don't zap yourself. Spent about 2 days on this, and this was the best I could do. You can see all of the filler that came out the floor, which is all the stuff I'd originally put in, and then we had to hoover this off and make sure there was nothing in the gaps so that it wouldn't block the new filler from adhering well.
One eternity later.
Okay, it took me about 3 days with a saw and a blade and a hoover to get all of the old filler out. And during that time, I thought I never ever want to do that job again because it was so difficult. So I've changed my mind about what filler I'm going to be using this time. I originally went for the Bona Mix and Fill, which is kind of like a PVA that you mix with the sanding dust and then spread between the gaps. But I did a lot of online research, and after seeing how the Bona Mix and Fill kind of shrunk and cracked when this place got flooded, I think I need something that might be a bit more flexible just to move and shift with these floorboards. Also, some of these gaps are up to 10 millimeters wide, which is kind of too wide for the Bona Mix and Fill because you're just firing loads of that stuff into the gaps and they're never actually going to fill. It takes ages for them to fill. So I've come up with a solution. I now have a flexible filler. This is not the exact one that I wanted, but it is going to do the same thing. It's pine coloured. It's a sealant so it's flexible, and you just use it like bathroom silicone or any other flexible sealant. We're gonna basically pipe it in between the gaps, and then we'll use a little putty knife to just smooth it out. It does mean that I'm gonna have to re-sand the floor, but hey, we all know by now that sanding is one of my favorite jobs, so that's no bother. The good thing is it'll be the right color, and it should be a lot faster in terms of actually applying it, and it should be flexible and move up to about 15 degrees as the seasons make the wood kind of move. I'm so sick of dealing with this floor. I'm gonna start in this corner. I have 3 of these tubes, so hopefully it's enough for the whole room. Something tells me I'm gonna need more, but anyway, we're gonna keep going and see. Oh, when I said this was gonna be quicker, now I'm not so sure. New gun, who dis? Wait, there we go. That is a lot better. Now we are talking. Yeah! So some of the more eagle-eyed viewers among you will probably realise, having watched my last video, that I'm filming these out of sync. This was filmed before we put the plasterboard on the walls. The reason for that is because I wanted to show you a reveal of what this floor looked like when it was fully done, and never managed to get the floor sander before my dad came up with the plasterboard. So I have now got the plasterboard on the walls, taped and filled, and the floor still kind of looks like this because unfortunately I still haven't managed to get a floor sander. I'll explain this later on in the video a little bit more, but that's why these videos are out of sync. So I've run out of the filler that I need to finish the last few gaps. So whilst I wait for the shops to reopen, because there's a bank holiday here, I'm going to take the skirtings off. The reason I took these skirtings off is because I ruined them with the floor sander the first time I did this floor, and they needed to come off anyway. Also, I felt they were a horrible height and didn't actually look very flattering, so I wanted to get wider ones for when we colour drench the room. Okay, I have just finished this floor after several days filling. It looks like this. I use so much filler. My overall opinion of this filler is that it's going to be good if any water, God forbid, gets in this room again. I think this is going to be better at protecting the floor and not absorbent like the last one, and I don't think it's going to crack. The colour match looks a bit crazy. It does look a little bit like silicone, but actually up close it's a pine colour, so all we need to do now is get the floor sander back, my favourite bit of equipment, and we're going to floor sand this entire room again and hopefully get all the residue off these lovely floorboards. And you better believe that I am never leaving this open again. So I'm about to go away for another 2 weeks. This is closed, this is shut. We cannot have another flood in here. If you ever want to do this, just a warning, make sure you get way more filler than you think, because I went through at least 10 bottles of this filler. This was every single bottle of this filler I could find in Shetland, so I bought the guy out. I was in that shop 4 different times. If you're going to do something as big as this, and this is a 12-metre square room, buy loads of filler. What I wished I could show you now was me finishing this floor with a floor sander and getting it to look beautiful, but that never happened before our insulated plasterboard arrived. If you've watched the last video, you know that this room has changed significantly and it's now a lot warmer, but the floor, unfortunately, still isn't finished. I will find a floor sander when all of them in Shetland aren't out on hire, but for now, I have to show you a few other jobs I was doing whilst we wait for that to happen. Okay, so we've kind of come up against a small problem here. What I wanted to do today was to start sanding the floor and sort this out for our next step, which will be varnishing it and then painting the walls. However, there are only very limited floor sanders in Shetland, and both of the ones I would usually use are out on hire already. I think the guy who took them came in and took them only about an hour before I came looking for one, so we have to find a different job to do, and hopefully in 2 weeks they'll be back. I did consider doing the floor with a hand sander, but realistically it's going to take way too much time and it would be so much faster with a floor sander, so we can just find other jobs to do in the meantime. So as you know, there's a lot of taping and filling here that needs to be sanded flat, so we're going to sand all of this flat. I have a few corners like this where we didn't actually tape and fill, so what I'm going to do there is use just decorator's caulk to just fill up the gap. I know a lot of people might disagree with me about that, but that's what I'm gonna do. This corner here is taped and filled, so we're gonna give that a good sand. Today is going to be extremely dusty. I already started doing some of this and my hair got really dusty. You can probably see how dusty it is on my face as well. Unfortunately, we're not gonna have a floor reveal for you just yet, but that's just the perks of living in an island where several people want to hire the same bit of equipment at the same time and there's only a limited supply. So we'll do what we can. We'll get there. What I'm using here is an articulated sanding head for the wall. I just screwed this into the handle of my mop and it worked really well. You can buy these very cheaply online. And then I used a hand sanding block with 200 to 400 grit sandpaper, which I could see in real time was taking the grooves from the plaster tools out the wall completely. So that was my preferred tool for this job. However, I also used my mouse sander for a very small portion of this wall, but you have to be so careful because it's really powerful. And I put a very high grit on this, 220 to 400, and I was not pressing hard, I was using it extremely gently. We should take a moment for the view that I'm getting up here. What a nice view to have whilst you're sanding. Yes, I'm using decorator's caulk to just fill up some of these gaps. No, it's not the ideal thing I would use, but it's what I had at the time, and I think it will be okay for this purpose. I told you I was really bad at this. Sanding this flat and filling up these edges only took me about a day and I was really pleased with the results. I'm sorry there's no floor reveal at this time, but this is what it looks like after all this work. Stand by to see what it looks like with the finished floor, which has become the most epic and long job I've done in this house so far. And hopefully we can start putting paint on in the next video. But for now, from a very dusty Eva, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.